Hi there and welcome along to another lunchtime row. Now remember, these rows don't have to be done over your lunch hour. They can be done at any point in the day when you've got round about 30 minutes free and you want to fill it with a rowing workout. Now, there's a workout I've got up here that lasts 25 minutes long, and it's made up of 4 minutes of 20 strokes per minute, followed by 1 minute of drills. And I've got it up here as a low intensity, a mid intensity, and a high intensity workout. And today's one is going to be a mid intensity workout. Now, what does that mean? That means round about 7 out of 10 effort. It means you're going to be going a good kind of like 5 or 6 seconds or more faster than you were at the low intensity, but you're not going to be going absolutely all out. But don't worry about it. I'll talk to you about pace when we get into the main row. Now, because this is 25 minutes long and the way it's structured, there's not a warm up on today's row. What we're going to do is the first 4 minutes of this, we're going to do a warm up intensity, then we're going to do our 1 minute of drills, and then we're going to get into that mid intensity row. But don't worry about it. I'm going to keep you across all this. Don't worry. All right? So we're going to get straight into it, and we have to set up our machine first. Now on an Aviron, that means going and setting your resistance to where you want it to be. You know where you want to set the resistance. I will do a normal warm up at around about 7 on here, but I've set it to 10 for today's row, but you set it where you want it to be. If you are using the Concept2 Aviron app, I want you to set your drag factor to where you normally row at, okay? Because remember, the power you put into the machine is the power that you feel when you're rowing, all right? Next up, go to your foot stretcher height and set it so that you're able to get the foot straps to cover the bottom lace on your shoe, which is kind of the balls of your feet. And what that should allow you to do is get into the front of the machine with your shins in a vertical position. I almost didn't make it there, but you just made it in. So your shins in a vertical position. If your feet are set too high in there, it can get a bit tricky to get there. If you're set too low, you can go scooting straight past, and that kind of just causes power leaks and stuff, all right? So, you ready for this? I want you to make sure you have a quick drink so that you're ready, because we're going into a straight 25-minute row, okay? You can, of course, if you need to stop during the 1 minute drills and have a drink, then please stop, okay? If you're thirsty, stop. But hopefully you can make the whole 25 minutes. We're going to start off at 20 strokes a minute at low intensity, and that means really just like pushing, connecting with your feet, but not putting in too much effort. We'll build it through that first 4 minutes, and then we'll get into the kind of higher intensity, all right? I've been talking way too long. Like the t-shirt says, less talking, more rowing, all right? You ready for this? We're going to get going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're off. So 20 strokes a minute, kind of like a warm-up pace for the time being, which, like I said, just feels like you're just connecting your legs to your arms. You're not really putting in a whole amount of power. You know you're moving, you know you're putting some effort in, but this doesn't feel like a pace you would normally be rowing even a low-intensity workout at. We're going to do a minute worth of here while we work on our body positions, making sure that our hips are opening as we lean forwards into the front of the machine, and then finish on a backwards tilt. Got to stop saying lean there, because lean could be a rounding of the lower back, but that's not what we're doing. We're tilting over our hips into that forwards position and then the backwards position. Okay, so that's just a minute into this, and all I want you to do is increase the power from your legs so you can now start to feel like you're working a little bit. It's really hard to kind of describe, but intensity-wise, you should feel your breathing rate going up, your heart rate starts to climb, but then it settles down at that slightly higher rate, and it doesn't feel like hard work. Imagine you were in a big office block or something, and you're climbing up all the stairs, but not too fast. You know how it just starts to get a little bit like hard work? You start to get out of breath and you're like, how many more floors have I got to go? But you know you can make it to the top. That's kind of the intensity that we're going to be rowing for the next 2 minutes as well, okay? So I just want you to hold this pace, and it should really be kind of a pace where you'd be able to talk, Don't talk over me though. But you can if you want. Say what you want, shout abuse at me, whatever you want to do. Or you could sing. So basically you're able to work out and also kind of speak or whatever at the same time. That's kind of your workout warm-up intensity that you should always be aiming for. Right now I'm rowing down at 158 splits on the Aviron, but don't worry about my time. Everybody's different. You could be a lot faster than me through this entire workout, or you could be slower, who knows? But you know you just need to know what your body's capable of. So, okay, we're in the last minute of this warm-up, and then we're gonna do 1 minute worth of drills, and then we're gonna continue rowing at this stroke rate, 20 strokes a minute, but I want you to put more power in to the machine. So, like I said, aim for like 6 to 8 seconds faster, maybe faster still, if you wish, but you're looking for somewhere in between this intensity and max intensity. Do you understand? I hope so. I'll tell you how fast I end up just as a guide, but you don't need to worry about my pace, just really the difference between now and what I end up at. But in the meantime, 2 more strokes and we'll do some drills. So we're going to row with our back and arms only first. So swing over your back or your hips and then pull in your arms. Then out with your arms and swing forwards over your hips again. So you're picking up the initial tension by swinging over your hips, and then you finish by pulling in your arms. That's a really important order for rowing, okay? Now let's roll into the front of the machine. Arms straight, forwards tilt. Push out from the front with just your legs. Try, if you can, to hold this forwards tilt and your arms straight and just use your legs. If you have to pick one thing, pick keeping arms straight, okay? Right, 2 more of these, and then we're gonna get into that higher intensity, but still at 20 strokes per minute. Okay, so just push harder with your legs. Remember, in rowing, it's your legs really that are controlling the power you're putting into the machine. When you push harder with the legs, you increase the force that goes through your body into your arms, into the handle. So it'll feel, what was the word? More forceful? No, more powerful. It'll feel like your arms are taking more strain. There we go, that's the word, strain. But it's your legs that are doing it because you're pushing harder with them. And then what happens is, because your arms are bracing against that increase in power and strain, when you pull into a finish at the back of the stroke, you'll also feel your arms working harder as they continue that power input. I hope that makes sense. Right, so I told you I'd tell you my pace differences. So my warm-up, I was doing right about 158 to 159, and I am round about 150, 151 for this right now. Okay, so that's what, 8 or 9 seconds increase, but still at the same stroke rate. Okay, I've not changed anything resistance-wise on the machine. All I'm doing is pushing harder with my legs, which then creates a more powerful stroke. And that's really important. I know, I'll get onto technique stuff in a minute, okay? I'm having a rant. It's really important to remember it's not just about stroke rate. At times I hear from people saying, but I row at 30 strokes a minute and can't hit the same numbers as other people. And it's down to this force, this push from the legs that is the generator of a more powerful stroke. So what it comes down to is that the power you put into a stroke is half of the equation to make you go faster, and then stroke rate becomes the other part. So if I kept on putting in this kind of power into the stroke, but I increased my rate to like 28, I'd be going a lot faster. Right. Rant over. 3 more strokes and we'll go into our next block of drills. Same thing again, 1 more. So back and arms first. Swing over your back, pull in your arms. And really do, just for that short swing of your back, keep those arms straight to take up that initial tension with the backswing, and that'll help add power into your stroke. 1 more. Let's roll into the front and push out with just the legs. And what you're really looking for here is that your feet connect to the foot plates and you push at the same time the handle bites into the machine, okay? And that way you get your leg power into the machine. Let's take 2 more. 1 more. And let's go back to that 20 strokes a minute, medium intensity pace. So I'm aiming for that 150, 151 again. And I know it's a funny way to describe like 7 out of 10 being medium intensity, but we're talking medium rowing intensity. Like 1 out of 10, it's kind of just being alive. Sitting on the couch, watching your favorite TV program. I'm trying to think what mine is right now. I really like Only Murders in the Building. That'll date this row slightly, but yeah. Anyway, so that's 1 out of 10. 2 out of 10 might be when you get up to go into the kitchen to refill your cup of coffee, get more snacks. 3 out of 10 is probably if you have to walk a long distance to the kitchen, maybe you live in a mansion. 4 out of 10 would be just climbing up 1 flight of stairs, and then 5 out of 10, like I say, would be you've had to go down to the basement for, I don't know, a nice bottle of wine maybe. And then you have to walk up to the top floor of your mansion where your screening room is. So I don't know why I suddenly assumed that you're all living in mansions somewhere. That's 5 out of 10, okay? So that's when you start to feel like it's a workout. Heart rate is up, breathing rate is up, and you know you're exercising, not just living. And that's kind of, you can increase a little bit within that range and be kind of 6 out of 10. Any more than that is when you start to get into 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, which is the medium intensity, mid intensity. And then 9 and 10 out of 10 should make sense that that's you up at high, max intensity, which is what the third version of this row would be like. And possibly you'd be another 8 or 9 seconds faster for that too. All depends on the machine and your resistance settings, how much that range is. Concept 2s with the Aviron app, it'll be a little bit more linear, but the way the resistance works here on the Aviron, you might find it's kind of bigger gaps. Okay, still not properly taught technique. We did in the warm-up, so hopefully you're not like, how do I row? But I promise, our next 4-minute chunk, we'll go over technique again, okay? So I'm sure you miss it. But 2 more strokes, and we're back in the world of drills. So, back and arms, pivot forwards, swing, pull. Arms out, then rock forwards. Let the arms be what trigger that forwards rock over your hips. Okay, that they shift the momentum of your upper body. Whew. Okay, let's take 1 more here, and then roll into the front. Straight arms, forward tilt, press out from the front. If this is a new concept to you, don't worry about power, okay? Just think about the timing. That forward tilt, arms straight, and connecting your legs to your arms. You can worry about power once you've got the skill right, okay? 1 more here, and then let's get back to that medium intensity. So I'm still looking to hit 150, 151, which is where I'm sitting at right now. It shouldn't be that tough to hold this pace through the workout, okay? You'll definitely, if you did the low intensity version of this workout, you'll definitely notice that your heart rate will be higher, that your muscles will feel like they're working harder, but there should never really be a point where you feel you want to stop. Fair enough, you might be looking forward to the 1-minute drills as a bit of a reprieve. Reprieve, yeah. But you shouldn't be like searching, waiting for them, which you likely will do in the max intensity. So, right. The reason that we do the drills that I'm doing is because they basically break the stroke down into its 2 largest component parts, which are that at the front of the stroke, you tilt in to around about 1 o'clock on the clock face with straight arms and a good posture, only sliding in until your shins are in a vertical position, and then you keep your arms straight and you try and hold that forwards tilt for as long as possible as you push the machine away with your feet. And that's a really useful cue when it comes to technique, is don't think about pushing yourself backwards. Don't think about pulling on the handle no matter what you do. All you're doing here is letting the power flow from your legs through a braced core to let the power transfer up through your posterior chain into your arms. Your hands are then hooked over the handle to let that power flow into the handle and into the machine. Okay, so push the machine away. It's a much better way to think about it. Keep the arms straight and a forwards tilt and push. And do try to keep those arms straight. One of the things I love about this Aviron machine is that, not from a vanity point of view, but from a keeping an eye on my technique point of view, the monitor is really reflective. So I can watch myself rowing, and specifically, I can watch my arms and make sure that they are straight, that I'm straight coming into the front, hold them, only pull at the back. All right, 2 strokes, and then more drills. Same thing again, back, arms, arms, back, back, arms, arms, back. Now these are like the most common drills that I do. You'll have seen lots of drills with people pausing mid-stroke, which is useful. I also think it develops bad habits, that people start to think that that's how you row. Okay, into the front and push out with your legs with straight arms and a forwards tilt. And again, this is a great moment for the Aviron screen to really check your arms are straight. They're not falling down as you come forwards. They're also not too high as you come forwards. Nice straight line. And we're back to our 7 out of 10 mid-intensity, faster pace. Of course, you don't have to rely on a reflective screen. You can set up a mirror in front of you and use that to keep an eye on your arms and things. I mean, listen, one of the reasons I started filming myself rowing, which then led to the RowAlong thing, was to keep an eye on my own technique. And then I eventually thought, you know what, if I'm filming these, why not talk and upload them? That's not the full story, really. The full story is that I'd injured myself and I had to work out a way to row at a low intensity. And when you're talking, it's quite hard to row at a max intensity. Anyway, right, so we've talked about the front of the stroke and the drive, but then the finish, like I said, it's all legs and arms only pull in at the back of the stroke. So legs, arms, okay? Try to finish with the handle at around sternum height. So don't dump it into your lap, and also don't finish with it up in your throat, okay? A nice neutral height. And then as the handle finishes coming into your chest, just let it come straight back out at the same pace you pulled it in at. In, out. And that gives you the rhythm of your stroke.
And it helps with that forwards tilt, arms away, triggers the tilt. Remember that from the drills we're doing. And then what you're looking to do is get the handles past your knees with that forwards tilt before you bend your knees. So handle away, tilt, knees. Arms, back, legs. And the reason for that is about making sure your body is in the right position for the next stroke. But also, if you get your arms away and tilt forwards, you don't need to tug yourself forwards with the foot straps in order to return for the next stroke. Whereas if you just stay marooned at the back of the stroke with a bad posture, that's when you need to pull on the straps. And so that's the last thing to say, is just to make sure you have a powerful posture, okay? Tailbone shouldn't be tucked underneath you. You should be up, not like a plank of wood, but powerful, good posture. Okay, 2 more strokes, then our final set of drills. Okay, oops, almost missed it then. Made it all the way to the end before messing up. Right, so swing with your back, pull in with your arms, out with your arms, rock forwards with your back. And notice the difference, or just put another way, how fast you're still able to row just with your back and arms. Shows how important they are. And then as you push out with your legs, with straight arms and a forwards tilt, you can see the power you can generate from your legs as well. And so when you combine legs, back and arms, rather than just arms or just legs and arms, because most people miss out the back unfortunately, then that's where your power comes from. 1 more stroke. And that's our 25 minutes done. Now, feel free to keep rowing just as a little cool down, because I'm not going to do an individual cool down on this video, or when I'm done talking to you, I'll be quick, don't worry. You can then search for the standalone cool down video, do that, and the stretching that I suggest that you do as well. Of course, if you have a better way to stretch, stretch the way you want to stretch, okay? So there we go. So that was the mid-intensity version of the 25 minutes with the 4 minutes plus 1 drills, okay? So if you haven't done the low intensity, seek that one out maybe for a recovery day, or if you're going to be doing some weights or something afterwards, or if you want to have a really hard max intensity workout, why not check out the hard max intensity version of this row, because it should hopefully put you there, okay? Make sure and if you're going to post this on any socials to say that you've done it, use a hashtag, and the hashtag today is going to be mid-intensity, because that's all it was, all right? So just use the hashtag mid-intensity and it'll pop up and I'll go, look at that, someone posted about it. So there we go, that's it, we're done with this row. I will hopefully see you in one of the other rows. Until then, please take care of yourselves, be well, bye-bye.